Kyle Reviewed.
Hey guys, we got some news here saying that Marvel wants Jon Bernthal to return as the Punisher in the MCU movies. So this comes from We Got This Covered, so that definitely sounds interesting, but since it comes from We Got It Covered, we're going to have to take it as a grain of salt, just because a lot of their articles don't usually get picked up by any of the other comic book sites at all because they end up not being true too much. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go, but we'll just take it as a rumor for now. But this is interesting because it sounds like Kevin Feige wants Jon Bernthal to return as Frank Castle in the MCU movies. It's unclear as to which project Marvel Studios head wants him in, but one of the movies that we've heard of is the Punisher could appear in the rumored Midnight Sun pick. So this is interesting. Now, I think it's interesting given that I'm not sure how that works, but it's still not clear as to if Jon Bernthal, Charlie Cox, Kristen Ritter, if they could come back and play their characters from the Netflix shows, if they're allowed to be, if Marvel could just continue their shows over on Disney Plus, they wanted to just do that. Give Jessica Jones season 3 or season 4 or whatever, continue those things, or do a Defenders season 2 over on the Disney Plus show. I'm not sure if they're allowed to do that without if that's allowed in the contract, because if I'm not mistaken, when they did the contracts for on the Netflix side, it pretty much favored Netflix a lot, and that's why we have this kind of 2-year wait time in between the end of the shows and before they can use the characters again. So I think it could be something interesting to see as to where things kind of go with this. With Punisher being one of the later shows, I think he has 2-year wait hold that Netflix have on the characters before Marvel can reuse them in something else. We'll have to wait and see as to how things go with this. Now, if they're trying to do a Midnight Sun movie and they want to make it a team-up movie or something, that could be quite interesting. Maybe they could write in Punisher without having, they could do all the kinds of production on everything else, in fact, other than Punisher, and then at the last minute just sneak Punisher in there, have a character that on script is not referred to as Punisher, but pretty much is Punisher, and then, as soon as they're allowed to, they just change the name to Punisher, right, and it becomes Punisher. So maybe there's a ways around that in a team-up movie, but we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with this. Now, the idea of bringing him in there, I could see them if doing this. If they want to do a Midnight Sun movie, which is actually it was a comic in the 90s where it had Ghost Rider and dark characters like Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, characters like that, Blade, vampires, and I think Morbius was a part of it. A lot of those characters like that. So I think this could be something interesting. Maybe they could add like Swamp Thing, or was it Swamp Thing? No, Man Thing. Man Thing is a Marvel one, and they could add characters like that. It'd be more of a horror genre. I think with them doing Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, they have confirmed that they're trying to go towards the more darker options into the MCU. So if Doctor Strange works out, then this could be the future of that. They're probably waiting on to see how Doctor Strange works out and how they have confirmed that that's going to be a scary movie, and they're going to try, maybe this will open up a whole new genre for the MCU. And I think this could be interesting, and putting in Punisher in there, especially in a team-up movie, the reason why Justice League failed so bad is that we didn't know half the characters in the movie. So having Punisher already established from the TV show, they don't need to give him a precursor show type thing. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things going to go with this movie. I feel like this Midnight Sun movie is so far down the line that by then Punisher should be okay for Punisher's rights should be okay for them to use. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go by that. But I think they're going to see as to how Doctor Strange goes, how does Blade goes, and then I think Blade could probably lead into a Midnight Sun movie. I think that's how I could see this going. So they could be right for this, but I think this could be so early on that we'll have to wait and see as to where things go, and how things kind of go for Jon Bernthal as Punisher. So if he all of a sudden wins an Oscar in that time, by the time they're ready to bring him back as Punisher, and he starts getting a bunch of movies, and he has been in a few movies here and there, mostly supporting roles, never really starring roles. But if all of a sudden he starts getting a couple of starring roles from now until then, wins an Oscar or two or whatever, or nominated or something like that, then his career might get to the point where they might be like, okay, cool, he's too expensive for this team-up movie. We didn't want him that bad. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go. I wouldn't get hopes up for this just because I feel like the timing for this is so far down the road. But we'll just have to wait and see as to where things go. So let me know what you think, guys, about this. Would you love to see Jon Bernthal return as the Punisher? And what kind of things would you like to see in that Midnight Sun movie? Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. And again, if you want to read this full article, I'll have a link in the description. Peace out.
It'll be my turn. Kyle reviewed. Like and subscribe.